10-month-old reported missing from her Missouri home, kidnapped from her own crib in the middle of the night. For the very latest, let's go straight to CNN correspondent Ed Lavandera live in Kansas City, where the search for the baby is underway. Ed, what's the latest?
Well, that search continues, and we've seen people and investigators continue to return here to the house here in this Kansas City neighborhood. That is the house you see behind me, the greenish-toned house where baby Lisa was abducted almost exactly a week ago. So clearly, as time passes by, this news becomes potentially much more devastating and much more serious. But the investigators that we've seen coming back here to this house are focusing on an area in the back of the house with, where there's a creek. We've seen them over the last few days repeatedly go back there. We've seen investigators out here with metal detectors working in the front yard and in the yards and in the areas around the house. They continue to do that. That's been an area of focus that they've done over the last 3 or 4 days. So that is what they continue to do. Despite all of that, they say they have no leads, no concrete evidence as to where baby Lisa might be.
Captain Steve Young from the Kansas City Police Department on the phone. Sir, I know you're very busy, and I know your top priority is finding this child, and that's why law enforcement has done extensive searches in the area. I know what you can't tell me, but what can you tell me about this investigation?
Well, the only thing I guess I can say is unfortunately, it's something I've said before. We don't have any suspects, and we're still working our tails off to try to figure out what happened.
Did she or did she not fail a polygraph?
Well, she's free to say what she would like, but we don't talk about the details of the investigation, so I can't go down that road.
Okay, well, at one point it was said that they were not cooperating. They went on national television and said, hey, we were just tired. We want to cooperate. This has been exhausting. Certainly, I have no idea what I would be like if my precious 10-month-old disappeared. I'd be a wreck, maybe impossible for me to stand up and even say a word that made sense. And then apparently they met with you again, and then the police have announced that they are cooperating. So what's the latest on that front, Captain?
Well, the way you mapped it out is correct, but we'd really rather not look backward. We're just glad that they're cooperating with the investigation again. I don't have to go on and on about how surely they know more about what's going on in that house than anybody else, and for us to find this missing child, they have to be a part of the investigation. They have to be helping us out. So we're glad that they're back to the table with us.
One last question, Captain. What about other possibilities? I understand there was a handyman who was in the area who disappeared and who hasn't been seen. Obviously, you checked the sex offenders. What's happening on that front?
Well, everybody's talking about the parents, but you can't forget that there's a whole other part of this thing, and we've, tracked down. Well, I can say we've received probably by now 300 tips and leads, and we've tracked down every single one of them to have anything to go on. So our command post is operational 24 hours a day, and we're getting a lot of help from local and federal agencies that are farming people out to us, and they're coming and going from the command post all day long, tracking down leads. So we're very busy.